Did you?
I was really close to it. Didn't really know how that
Are you
was
looking at
affected.
expanding your touring range to cover more of the Northeast?
Yeah, we'd love to.
Midwest.
I mean, here's the thing. Being in a band costs a lot more than you'd think. For us to do a show, not in counting what we get paid, but just actually to fly out here and get the hotels and get all the equipment out here and all that kind of stuff, we're talking about thousands of bucks. Well, on top of that, we got mortgage payments to pay and kids to feed and all this kind of stuff. So we actually got to get paid on top of that. So for a concert promoter to bring us out, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars. And, you know, we're not rich. We're not Lady Gaga or anything like that. We make normal middle-class incomes. We make less than a lot of you guys, and possibly more than those of you guys that are only partially employed. You know, it's like we don't have a whole lot of money. We don't charge a whole lot, but in order for it to work, it ends up costing the promoter a whole lot.
Well, and the East Coast, I mean, we're in Washington State, so obviously going across the country costs
Long
more.
ways away.
And there's more luggage fees because Southwest doesn't go to all those places, and you know.
It's taken us a while to find the right price point where promoters can still make money off of having us come out. So it's like if we charged too much, then we would price ourselves out of the market. If we charged too little, then we wouldn't be making enough for the time that we're putting into it. So we're at a point right now where a promoter can put on a really good show and get an income so that they can then put it into the next show and build their events. And while still at the same time making it worth it for us to take 4 or 5 days out of the week where, you know, we could otherwise be earning some kind of income. You know, it takes us, what, 4 days for this event? We're playing the one show, we travel out here, we do some panels, we do a show, and then we fly home. So we're at a point where it works for a motivated, organized promoter. Like this event right here is a great event.
Yeah.
Everything about it has been fantastic.
Well, and the other thing is, I heard a couple of times this weekend, people are like, how come you're not playing blankety blank steampunk festival? Like, I hate them for not having you. And then the thing is that they all contact us and they can't all afford it. So don't hate them if they can't do it. They just do it. And we don't hate them either. They call me up and I'm like, okay, this is what it costs. We're really sorry, but in order for us to make our mortgage payments at the end of the month, this is what we get charged.
We need to live too. I mean, it's really fun to do. If we didn't get paid, it'd be super fun. But
We
I mean,
would.
we have kids.
We try to trim out. I mean, we try and trim out as much as possible for the promoter. Like we fly Southwest because the bags are free, and we got a folding keyboard because now it's a bag you can check.
Well, and the thing is, if we did it the other way around, where we had, whose is that?
What tune is that?
That was my husband. You have to
Wait,
That would have been bad. Who is
So-
this?
She's with me.
What's the best venue or most memorable, like the Edison or?
Edison was fantastic.
Edison.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta say Whitby though.
No, but I,
Would
when I say
Man, Tucson, old Tucson.
Oh,
last
wow,
weekend.
wow,
Wild
wow,
West.
wow.
It was awesome. It was like a week ago.
Yeah.
We're literally shooting like 6-shooters and riding horses, and it's not like animatronic horses or plastic 6-shooters. It's the real thing.
We played a show in an Old West saloon. That was awesome.
On sets from movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they shot Tombstone.
Yeah, we go out riding in between these giant cactuses, and we're riding along. That night we gotta go pick up these guys that have been waiting in this other lot, and we get over to them, and they're like, "There's
Coyotes.
Yeah, they're huddled in this light, and they're like, "The coyotes."
There was but where this town was, it's in the middle of a valley. There was nothing else there, just this town. And we were leaving. It was the last light in this one parking lot. And they're all three huddled under this light. And you see the coyotes walking.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God! I'm so happy to see you.
Yeah, it's so cool to go and do something and find out, oh, those things are real. That's not fake. So yeah.
What is the funniest or most memorable tour disaster you've ever had?
I got one. Mythicfaire.
Oh!
Here it is.
That's what everything melted.
Seattle never gets hot in the summer, so very few places have air conditioning, right? Well, we have a show in a venue that has one door to get in and one door to get out on the other side of the building in 105 degrees in the middle of the summer. So we're on stage under stage lights in that weather. So it's maybe what, 110, 115 degrees under the stage there. Of course, Dan is an old pro at doing heat, but we're all wusses. So
I don't like
it was a industrial festival. So most of the bands had laptops and computer equipment on the stage.
As did we.
And at those temperatures, computers fail. So we have, a couple of times we're in the middle of a song where we got the beats going, rocking out, and all of a sudden the music changes to something horrible as the sound card begins to overheat and die.
Okay, so here's what happened. This is a little technical, but really funny. What happened was some little circuit in the audio sound card switched over the BPM rate.
Oh God.
Which basically, what did it? Did it half it?
Slowed
It did
everything
something
down.
where it dropped everything into a lower bit cycle and slowed the music down.
I know, I'm like, what
So it's in the middle of change
happened?
page. So the beat and change page goes doom chicka doom chicka doom chicka, and this thing hits, and all of a sudden it goes boom chicka bam. And all the like industrial heads in the front row were like, yeah! We're like, no!
We tried picking up one of the fans on stage to blow cool air on the laptop,
Yeah.
but it was just blowing hotter air onto it, making it worse.
Yeah, it's
We finally,
fail.
we tried to get through Change Cage 3 times. We started it once and it died. We started it again at the same place it died. We started it again the third time. All right, we're Abney Park, thank you. In between songs, I was taking my water bottle and going,
Oh yeah.
it's so hot and uncomfortable.
We learned all of our water techniques.
Yes.
Like I do that thing where I pour it down the back of my thing. The other thing you do is you take 2 water bottles and put them in your pockets upside down with the lids off, and they slowly just pour down your pants.
That was when I
embarrassing.
decided I was
You
going
don't
to
really care. Yeah.
I guess as parents, how are you introducing your children to the arts and music, and how do you support them if they have that inclination?
In our house, they don't have any way to escape it. I mean, we're starting to get a little bit piano heavy. Every room is an art room. I mean, yeah.
Piano heavy.
Multiple rooms in the house have pianos. That's piano heavy.
You can see videos on YouTube of me and Christina just gathered around the piano singing Christmas songs, and you'll see like 3 or 4 other keyboards in a room like a quarter the size of this room. So. But yeah, no, the kids are just, they're just sort of constantly growing up with it.
Well,
so.
and I mean,
Jody, you grew up like this.
Yeah, my dad's a professional musician, and everybody in my family plays music. I mean, he's
I-
my cousin too, so yeah.
I talked to her dad the other day at a family reunion kind of a thing, and he's like, yeah, I figured if I just taught all of my kids how to play, then I'd always have a band. And literally, I'll be like, is anybody free for a concert third Thursday of May? And Jody's like, I got a family band show. And it'll be her and her 2 brothers and her dad, and they'll get on stage
My
and do.
sister.
Oh, and your sister and
Do like bluegrass
do.
tunes.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
When she sings with her sister, the 2 of them harmonize together beautifully.
Yeah, it's freaky. But
I think
So when's your sister joining the band? I mean,
Oh, she's.
okay, here's the thing about siblings. We brought her on. We brought her on stage for one show, and when they both got off, they were both like, "Never again." So I don't think it's gonna happen.
One more question. We're reaching the end of our time
A
slot.
lot of time, yeah.
did you guys build all of the instruments, or were they?
hers is awesome.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean that's it. I started with Nathan's guitar just because this would be cool, and then we just kind of kept going because it's fun to do shit. And yeah, and now we're on like the 2nd iteration of instruments for some people. Christina's like on her like 8th iteration for keyboards, and it's just kind of cool. Fun to do.
I have to say the most painful part though is you buy a really expensive bass and then kind of watching Robert drill holes in it. You're like, oh God!
People will walk up to me with like $1,000, $2,000 instrument, and I'll be like, okay.
When I handed Robert my guitar, words like bandsaw and drill press came out of his mouth. I just about died. He's like, okay, so I'm gonna route this big great rent in the front of it here, and then I'm gonna drag it here and slice this bit off. And I'm like, no!
You know what's funny though? So we're doing this TV show, and this movie crew comes into our
That
house,
was horrible.
and they're like, okay, we want to film you actually modding stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like, but we want you to do it with things that look good on camera. So can you do it with like fire? I don't know how how to do that. So I'm in my shop trying to do this stuff, and I start to grind on this metal thing, and he's like, "Oh, that'll be great. There'll be sparks." And it's like, it's copper. And he's like, "Can you grind something that does spark?" So I'm like, "Okay." So I like grab a nail. So for no reason, I'm grinding this nail, and he's like filming it in slow motion. The sparks.
Oh, it looks awesome.
Awesome. And then we got to do clothes modding. He's like, "Can you do it with fire?" Yeah, okay. I go to the shop and I get all these leftover explosives from the 4th of July. So I've got like Autumn Christina's clothes, and he films it in slow motion. There's goggles and fire and sparks going up. And then there's this great scene where you see me, and this happened live like this wasn't planned or anything. Christina's in the foreground. Camera sees this cloud of smoke, and I walk out with Christina's jacket, and there's like pile of smoke coming from the jacket. And Christina's like, "Smoke means fire. I'm not putting that on." All right, I think that was it for us.
I think that was it. Thank you.